Rambam, we continue with the laws of Shabbos, getting close to the end of the laws of Shabbos. 27th chapter out of 30. So a person who goes beyond the city's Shabbos limit is liable by lashes. As the verse says, no man should leave his place on the seventh day. The term place refers to the city's Sabbath limits. The Torah did not explicitly state the measure of this limit. The sages are transmitted the tradition that the measure was 12 mil, the length of the Jewish encampment in the desert. 12 mil is like 12 kilometers, approximately. Yeah, approximately 1 kilometer. Thus, Moses, our teacher, was instructing, do not go beyond the camp. Right? Don't go beyond the camp. So 12 kilometers. Our sages ruled that a person may only go 2,000 cubits beyond the city, which 2,000 cubits is about 3,000 feet, which I think, hey Siri, how much is 3,000 feet in kilometers? It's 0.9 of a kilometer. So it's almost a kilometer. It's approximately a kilometer. Instead of 12 kilometers, it's 1 kilometer approximately. The rationale is that the choice of the figure of 2,000 cubits represents a pasture land given to a city. Outside the city, the pasture land. From the above, it follows that a person may walk throughout the expanse of any city, even if it's as large as Nineveh, whether or not it's surrounded by a wall. Right? So in a city itself, you can walk. We're talking about walking. We're not talking about carrying now, by the way. Right? Because as the verse says, don't go out of your homes, out of your dwellings. Right? What does it mean, a dwelling? So biblically, it means 12 kilometers, because that was the size of the encampment of the Jewish people. It went 12 kilometers. Kind of makes sense, right? Okay. The rabbis came, the sages came and said, no, 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 only almost a kilometer, just under a kilometer. So we're talking about walking, right? So similarly, a person is permitted, it is permitted for a person to walk 2,000 cubits in all directions outside the city. Calculated these 2,000 cubits, the entire area is considered as a square, like a tablet, so that the area in between its furthest corners will also be included. If a person goes beyond 2,000 cubits up to the distance of 12 mil, it should become a stripes or a bill as conduct, because that's a rabbinic transgression. If it goes even 1 cubit beyond 12 mil, the 12 kilometers, he's liable for lashes prescribed by scriptural law, not just rabbinic law. There is a question whether a person is liable if he goes beyond the Sabbath limit while traveling at the height of more than 10 handbreadths above the ground. He jumps from one pillar to another. When none of the pillars has a surface area of 4 cubits, 4 handbreadths by 4 handbreadths, and therefore it's Or there remains an unresolved question among the sages whether or not whether or not the Sabbath limits apply 10 handbreadths above the ground. Psh, wow. Matter is one of the question only in the instance similar to an example given. If by contrast a person walks on the surface that is 4 handbreadths, it's as if he is walking on the ground, even the surface is 10 handbreadths above the ground. The Sabbath limits apply to such an instance. A person who spends Shabbos in a barn, in the desert, in a corral, in a cave, or a similar type of private domain may walk, right, those are private domains, walk through the entire space, may continue to limits of the square extended 2,000 cubits in every direction from that domain. So that domain is not included in the 2,000 cubits, right? Similarly, a person who spends Shabbos in an open valley may walk to the limits of the square extending 2,000 cubits in every direction from the place which is located at the commencement of the Shabbos, and applies even if he's sleeping at the time of the commencement of the Shabbos, and thus did not consciously acquire the place of the Shabbos base. A person who is walking in an open valley and does not know that how far his Shabbos limit extends may take 2,000 ordinary steps. This is the Shabbos limit. Okay, I have to stop over here. We will continue. Thank you, folks. Good to be back. Hope everybody's
Thank you, Rabbi.
I hope everybody's celebration was wonderful and continues to be.